Blood dripped from Yoo Joon-seo's side as his attacker crumpled against the brick. He should have finished it. 15 years in Seoul's underworld taught him that much. But movement caught his eye. A woman on a skateboard, red bandana streaming behind her like fire, launching off a ramp with fearless precision. She twisted midair, defying gravity, defying reason. Then Jane landed, looked up, and their eyes locked. In that split second, something violent and inevitable tore through his chest. Want, need, obsession, emotions he'd buried with his father's body. His attacker forgotten, Joon-seo watched her disappear into the neon chaos, knowing his carefully controlled world had just shattered. Welcome to Afro-Korean Soul Diaries. Please like, share, and subscribe. The alley wall shook as Yoo Joon-seo slammed his attacker back, but his eyes were locked on the street. A woman, Jane Okonkwo, soared past on a skateboard, her red bandana trailing like a flag of defiance. Their eyes met for one impossible second before she vanished into the Seoul neon. Find her, Joon-seo told his lieutenant, ignoring the knife wound in his side. I want everything. Within days, Joon-seo had manipulated her world, extending her visa and repairing her building, before finally confronting a drunk harasser at the club where she worked. He twisted the man's arm with lethal efficiency. She said no, Joon-seo whispered. Jane yanked her wrist away. I had that handled. I don't need a savior. Good, Joon-seo replied, his icy gaze finally meeting its match. I'm not offering to be one. He took her to dinner in Itaewon, where the smell of jollof rice met his expensive suit. He was a crime lord disguised as a mogul. She was a Nigerian artist fighting to stay in Korea. Men like you don't date women like me, she challenged. They hook up and disappear. I'm not disappearing, he promised. The shadow of his world fell fast. When a rival, Park Chong-min, kidnapped Jane to send a message, Joon-seo burned the city down to find her. He burst into the warehouse, covered in blood that wasn't his, and found her tied to a chair with a split lip. I thought I was too late, he choked out, untying her. I'm okay, she said, spitting blood. But if we're doing this, you protect me with the truth, not with secrets. She moved into his fortress, turning his sterile penthouse into a studio of vibrant colors and Afrobeats. But the walls felt like a cage until Jane demanded he train her. They fought in the mornings, sparring until she learned to read his movements, and loved in the evenings. Joon-seo, the man who had ice for blood, was finally thawing. The Sotogumi syndicate struck again at a mountain safe house. Kang, Joon-seo's lead guard, shoved a gun into Jane's hand as they fled into the dark. Use it, he barked. Jane ran through the forest with their toddler daughter, Amara, tucked against her chest, the sound of gunfire echoing behind them. She reached the escape car and floored it until Joon-seo's convoy intercepted the chase, his men shredding the rival vehicles in a hail of lead. He pulled her from the car, shaking. I should let you go to keep you safe. Don't you dare, Jane fired back. I chose this life. I chose you. Joon-seo realized then that an empire was nothing compared to the warmth of his family. Over the next few years, he did what no one thought possible. He dismantled his criminal syndicate, moving everyone into legitimate tech and art. He traded his fear in the streets for the sight of Jane's paintings on museum walls and the sound of their second daughter, Zuri, laughing in the garden. Standing on their balcony years later, the dangerous man from the alley was gone. I spent 15 years being untouchable and empty, Joon-seo told her, pulling her against his chest. I'd rather have the fear of losing you than go back to feeling nothing. Jane leaned into him, the red bandana now a memory of the girl she used to be, replaced by the queen of the empire they had built together. You're stuck with us now, she whispered. Always, he replied, and for once, the city below was silent.